Sole Envoy, written by Shadeskira. The Galactic Assembly's central station was a marvel of engineering, a city-sized construct of gleaming metals and glass suspended in the void. Within its walls, representatives from countless species debated, traded, and maintained the fragile balance of galactic peace. For millennia, the Assembly had been a testament to the collective strengths and ingenuity of the galaxy's civilizations. Yet, even in this bastion of unity, there were whispers of forgotten corners, places too dangerous, too inhospitable to be worth the effort. Earth, the infamous Deathworld of Sol, was one such place, catalogued eons ago. Its violent storms, hostile fauna, and unstable ecosystem had relegated it to obscurity. Humanity, confined to their system and bereft of faster-than-light travel, had been dismissed as an inevitable casualty of their harsh environment. That certainty shattered when she arrived. For days, the Assembly scanners had tracked an anomaly, a pinpoint of light, impossibly fast and unwavering, moved directly from Sol system towards the station. It emitted no discernible energy signature, carried no physical vessel, and bypassed every navigational barrier with precision that defied comprehension. Rumors spread like wildfire, and by the time the anomaly reached the station's perimeter, the entire Assembly was watching. When she entered the Assembly Hall, time seemed to stop. She was human, or at least appeared to be. A young woman, her form lithe and her features strikingly sharp. She was clad in simple, practical garments that carried an undeniable sense of authority. Her bare feet hovered inches above the floor, her body encased in an ethereal light that shimmered with every step she took. Her presence was overwhelming, a paradox of serene calm and predatory intensity. The gathered delegates, beings from every corner of the galaxy, fell silent as she reached the central platform. Her voice, clear and steady, resonated in their minds as much as their ears. "I am Athena," she began, "an envoy of humanity." Her words sent ripples of shock through the chamber. For centuries, humanity had been dismissed as primitive and irrelevant. Yet here stood their representative, unharmed, alone, and impossibly powerful. "I know what you think of us," Athena said, her gaze sweeping over the assembled delegates. "You see humanity as a relic, a species trapped by the limitations of our home system. You catalogued our world, labeled it a death world, and left us to our fate. You thought that we would die out." She paused, letting the weight of her words sink in. "You were wrong." Athena extended a hand, and a holographic map of the Sol system appeared in the air. Planets, moons, and the sun itself glowed with renewed vitality. When we found ourselves isolated, we did not despair. Instead, we turned inward, seeking answers not in the stars, but within ourselves. And there, we found something no other species had dared to dream of. She gestured, and the map shifted to show Earth, its once scarred surface now a lush and thriving paradise. We unlocked the potential of our minds, psychic abilities, dismissed as myths by your civilizations, became our tools. We healed our world, restored its balance, and made it a home worthy of our survival. The map zoomed outwards, revealing transformed planets and moons throughout the system. Mars, its red sands now fertile, Jupiter's moons gleaming with human-made atmospheres. We reshaped our system, terraforming worlds once thought inhospitable. We even reignited our dying star, extended its life by millions of years. The room was utterly silent. Delegates stared, many in disbelief, some in awe. But we did not stop there, Athena continued. Our minds became our ships, where your civilizations relied on engines and reactors. We traversed the void with thought. Where your technologies falter, ours will endure. She gestured to herself, her radiant aura shimmering. I stand here as proof. Athena's expression softened as she spoke her next words. We come not as conquerors, but as equals. Humanity desires peace. We ask only for the territories within 3 hyperspace jumps of Sol to be recognized as ours. If the systems are already occupied, we will provide compensation or assist in relocation. If they are abandoned, we will rebuild them. If they are destroyed, we will restore them. Her gaze turned steady. But know this. Should you choose war, humanity will defend itself. We do not seek violence, but we will not shy away from it. For a moment, the chamber was quiet. Then a guttural voice broke the silence. You dare make demands of us? The speaker was a Vorgash ambassador, a towering creature of chitin and muscle. His mandibles clicked in anger, and his armored form bristled with weapons. You come here alone, unarmed, and claim dominion over systems you have no right to. We will not yield to the likes of you. Athena turned her gaze to him, her expression calm but unyielding. Are you certain of this path? The ambassador sneered. We are a warrior race. Your words mean nothing. If you wish to claim these systems, you will have to fight for them. Athena tilted her head slightly, as though considering his words. Then she smiled faintly. Very well. You may test your strength against me. The chamber erupted in chaos as the Vorgath ambassador leapt towards her, claws extended and roaring with fury. His blow, powerful enough to cleave through starship hulls, passed harmlessly through her form. Athena remained still, her expression serene. He struck again and again, each attack phasing through her as though she were an illusion. The Vorgash ambassador snarled in frustration, his strikes growing wilder, more desperate. Athena sighed. Enough. With a flick of her wrist, the ambassador froze mid-swing. His body began to unravel, atom by atom, his form dissolving into motes of light. Yet somehow his consciousness remained intact, suspended in a state of agonizing awareness. For what felt like an eternity, he existed as fragments, a living testament to Athena's mastery. Then with a wave of her hand, she restored him. The ambassador collapsed to the floor, trembling and broken. Athena turned back to the assembly, her voice firm. Let this serve as a lesson. Humanity offers peace and friendship, but we will not tolerate betrayal. Choose your path wisely. The vote was unanimous. The assembly ceded the territories humanity had claimed, treaties were signed, and the galaxy was left to grapple with a new reality. The Deathworlders of Sol had risen, not as conquerors or victims, but as equals, impossible, unyielding, and unstoppable. Humanity had arrived, and yet they had only just begun. End of story. Story number 2. Ancient Aliens and the Pyramids, written by Random 3X. Droth looked out the viewport of his ship down upon the Earth. He was one of many researchers in the Primitive Sentient Index sent to the planet to observe the emerging species. Specifically, he had been assigned to a nation of the primitives that lived along a river delta. Sir, our drones have discovered a massive building project. The data being sent up seems odd in that the engineering is on a scale we believed impossible for the humans at this point in their development, the servant said, offering Thoth an emerald tablet. Taking the proffered tablet, Thoth read the reported data and nodded to the servant. I think it is best to confirm with our own eyes rather than rely on drones. Besides, I've been feeling cooped up, spending every day on board, so walking on a natural world would be pleasant. But the protocols, the servant protested, say that we cannot offer technology or aid of any kind. Interaction is also to be kept to a minimum. However, it does not mention that contact is entirely forbidden. Just to a minimum, Thoth repeated, emphasizing the final word to clarify the loophole that he was going to exploit. The servant let out an exhausted sigh as he conceded defeat. He knew better than to try and debate the chief researcher. With reluctance, the servant prepared a non-invasive shuttle that would appear to the planet's inhabitants like a chariot descending from the heavens. The shuttle proceeded to descend along a simple flight path towards the building site. Thousands of humans below moved like ants in a nest, moving all over the large stone structure. could be seen clearly from above. The shuttle finally settled down onto the ground just outside where the tents that the drones had reported was where the project leader was located. Exiting the shuttle, Thoth and his accompanying servant approached the already prostrate human whom the drones had identified as the head of the project, directly overseeing its construction.
"You there! What is the purpose of this structure?"
Thoth asked. "It is a tomb for our divine leader, Khufu, your greatness," the man quickly replied, his voice crackling as he did so.
"I see. Fascinating project to be remembered. I wonder who came up with the idea,"
Thoth mused aloud. "It was the divine architect Imhotep. He conceived of it long ago, and it has been improved since then. Though there was a failed attempt slanted part way," the prostrate man explained, refusing to raise his head to even glance upon Thoth.
"So this isn't even your first project like this? I thought the few in this region were all that there were. Fascinating,"
Thoth muttered as he glanced at his emerald tablet and studied the data it was now taking in, as it was directly there.
"How did you get the ground so flat without laser foundation cutters? Go and you can look upon me. I do not like talking to the back of a man's head."
The foreman raised his head and glanced up at Thoth's towering figure. "Thank you, your greatness. To answer your question, we carved channels and flooded them with water." Thoth pondered the answer, then snapped his fingers.
"Brilliant, and so simple. The water would naturally reach a perfect level, and all you need to do is ensure that you didn't deviate from it. Such an ingenious solution without technology."
Thoth beamed at the man. He had been relatively bored of the human race, but such a creative solution blew him away. "Lord Thoth, look at these stones. They have been cut so precisely for a race like this," the servant cried out.
"These granite stones?"
Thoth asked, gesturing to the reddish stone stacked near a port with boats coming and going.
"They are for the king's chamber, your greatness." "No, I meant, how did you carve them? Granite is exceedingly hard. It is not like the limestone that you are using, which is soft. You would need a diamond or a corundum to even chip into it." "Your greatness has shown interest in cutting our stone. Allow me to demonstrate," the foreman declared, snapping his fingers to draw a few workers over to the roughly hewn granite block. "We use this copper saw to cut the stone, your greatness," the stonemason declared eagerly, as he bowed deeply. "A copper saw? Surely the metal is too soft, and wouldn't cut as finely as a diamond saw?" Thoth asked.
"Indeed, your greatness. We add sand, which enables the finest of cuts," the stonemason answered, as a few panicking workmen began working the saw back and forth, while another poured fine sand under the blade.
"Yet another ingenious solution," Thoth beamed. "Of course, the sand contains particles that are harder than granite, and they will grind the stone under the blade."
"What of the blade, my lord?" the servant asked.
"It is a soft metal, but it would be simple enough to hammer it back into shape or even replace it, should it be needed."
"How do you move such heavy stones without vibration anti-gravity movers, I mean?" the servant asked curiously as Thoth glared at him. The foreman looked puzzled at the words before gesturing to a path leading to the pyramid. "We inserted wooden slats into the ground and wet them and the sand between them. This allows our laborers to move the stone with relative ease. However, we have engineered a crane to help pull the granite stone up to where it will be placed."
"So much genius! Reducing the friction that even a few people could move several tons relatively simply."
"Have we pleased you, your greatness?" the foreman asked, bowing low again.
"Beyond what words could convey. I believe your race to be an ignorant and barely functional bunch. Now I see that you are creative, problem-solving, barely functional bunch. I shall watch your race's progress with great interest. Who knows, maybe you'll reach your planet's moon after 100,000 years have passed. I shall be happy to greet your race when that time has passed. I must, however, return to the divine realm to convey your accomplishments to, Ra? Yes, Ra, yes. I think he was the idiot who made first contact."
With his servant in tow, Thoth boarded the shuttle, leaving a world below. A world with clever little monkeys who were very good at solving problems, if anything, a bit too good. End of story. I'd quickly like to thank our Tier 5 channel members, Casper Arnholtz, John Creighton, Manatharia, 050, Dragzoon WRE, and Elijah Silvercross. Thank you very much.